Each week, we break down a hot topic in the gaming industry, and this week, we are here to talk about everybody's favorite thing to extremely aggravate themselves with, and that is EA. See what I did there? Extremely aggravate, and it's EA. Yeah, that was funny. Austin's not laughing. You're not laughing. Okay, there you go. Very good. There we go. Cue the laughter. That was the laugh track that I just turned on of Austin's laughter. Anyway, so as we all know, EA right now is just always in the news for something, one thing or another. If it's not them talking about loot boxes, it's them talking about, the lack of games that they produce or subscription services or the fact that they make lots of money but don't pay their people, or just all the things that they like to do, or the fact that they repeat the same game over and over again every year and just rinse and repeat kind of deal.
Or which labeled the worst video game company or company in America, or some title of you are the worst, literally the worst.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are the second largest video game company in the world too, which really sucks. But that's another thing. But anyway, in this discussion, we're going to talk a little bit about what's been recently happening in the news. You've probably seen videos on this. If you watch Young Yeah, you've seen a video that he's done. And then if you look at Angry Joe, he's done some stuff on it. We're referencing specifically an article from Kotaku by Nathan Grayson, in which he highlights essentially what went down during this discussion that happened at the UK Parliament's Digital Culture, Media, and Sport Committee a couple days ago, by the time you listen to this podcast. And in this, they brought out EA's Carrie Hopkins. And now Carrie Hopkins is the the Vice President of Legal and Government Affairs. And she had a lot of things to say in defense of her company that she's representing here. And in it, Scottish National Party MP, whatever MP stands for, I'm not exactly sure, but Scottish National Party person, Brennan O'Hara, said that evidence suggests a close link between loot boxes and gambling, especially among adolescents. And she starts off by saying, "We don't call them loot boxes. We refer to them as, quote, surprise mechanics." And if anybody watched Yang Ya's video, he proceeded to showcase how multiple times on Twitter and Facebook and various social media outlets, after the scrutiny of Battlefront 2, in which they released loot boxes that were pay-to-win mechanics inside of them, and got scrutiny for them and had to pull them out of their game. They many times have referenced thereafter that this game is coming out on said dates, and this game will not include loot boxes or microtransactions of any kind.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. So now she's saying, oh, by the way, we don't ever call them that. We call them surprise mechanics. And that's interesting.
What is a loot box? We have surprise mechanics because surprise, we're taking your fucking money.
Yeah, I still feel like it's still a surprise, and it's an unhappy surprise, but her reference is really funny. So she was like, and this is a direct quote from what she said during the thing. She said, if you go to, I don't know what your version of Target is. I think Target's in more than one country. I'm pretty certain. But she said that if you go to your version of Target, a store that sells lots of toys, which I also don't think that they sell lots of toys in, Toys R Us sells a lot of toys. Target has a toy section, but whatever. And she said, you do a search for surprise toys. Again, she's assuming that you go to Target and largely purchase things online, as opposed to, you don't go into Target and do a search for surprise toys. You go and say, hey, where's your toys at, or your toy section? And I feel like if you asked the worker at Target, hey, can you show me your surprise toys aisle? They would probably look at you like you're an idiot. I would honestly say that. It's like, what the heck are you talking about, lady? I don't know.
Anyway, we'll take your credit card now, and then when you look at your statement, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, Target's like, oh, I got some surprise toys for you. Here, what's your Venmo? Okay, can you, I'm going to request you $500. Okay, there you go. Surprise. Send me that money. Yeah, so anyway, she went on to say that what you'll find if you search for surprise toys is something that people enjoy. They enjoy surprises. And so it's something that's been part of toys for years, whether it's Kinder Eggs or Hatchimals or LOL Surprise. We do think the way that we have implemented these kinds of mechanics in FIFA, which of course is our big one, our FIFA Ultimate Team and our packs, is actually quite ethical and quite fun, enjoyable to people. Now, I don't know where anybody got the idea that the act of clicking a button to open a box is fun. You don't do it for the act of doing that, but like clicking that button, you do it because you want something good inside of it. It's not fun to engage in that action. It's fun to get something and brag to your friends, hey, look at this badass skin I got. But if you don't get it, that wasn't a fun experience. That wasn't an enjoyable experience. That was a fucked up experience.
Mm-hmm. You wasted your money. Is basically what
you waste your money. But then you'll go back and do it again because they know that you're vulnerable and you're going to do it because not because it's fun, but because it's addictive. Just like drugs.
It is addictive. You get that dopamine rush and you didn't get what you want, so you want it again. At least when you go to the store, and yes, I've seen these surprise toys where like you can get any one of these 5 figures or whatever they're putting in there, in this set. If you buy this. And so obviously you have to take it to the front, buy it, and then you're most likely going to leave before you open it, or maybe you open it depending, how old you are. You might just like open it immediately, like Pokemon cards, That's what we used to do. You open them and see, like, oh, look at all this stuff I just got. Yeah, it might not be that great, but I mean, it was cool. But it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to rush back into the store and do it again, hoping you get something else, right? There's like this disconnect, this separation that you get to leave from going to the store to going to home and being satisfied or not being satisfied. With a button, you can just click it over and over again, and that is literally gambling. Technically, I mean, that's what you do when you go to the casino. You do something over and over again, hoping you're gonna get something really awesome by putting money into the machine. And it is different in the sense that they're actually giving you some sort of return where here's some digital items, right, that you may or may not want. Well, obviously in the casino, that they're just going to keep your money until you get the big jackpot or you get something back, And I mean, it just they're grasping at straws, man. They've lost it. They have nothing else they have nothing. This is all shit.
And like in relationship to, her example was like these Kinder Eggs and these Hatchimals. Like when you go and buy these toys that have a surprise inside of them, you know that when you purchase that, the surprise you're going to get, it may not be exactly the color you wanted, but you know what's going to be in it. You know it's going to be this little toy figurine, or it's going to be, in the case of the Hatchimals, a little animal character that comes out of it. Like that's what you're going to get. Sometimes you open a loot box and you get a thing that you've already gotten. You get a duplicate, or you get a thing that's, you got more common coins or credits or whatever, or you got a skin that you don't give two shits about. Like, so you're not always getting something you enjoy. And now granted, with like Hatchimals or whatever, like you could get the same animal twice. Like that's fair. But going into it that there is that potential, but that's the one potential. Otherwise, you're going to get something new and you're paying the amount for that thing that's worth, like, that in this box is going to be a little thing that is worth that investment to you because you're paying $10, you're going to get a figurine. That's it. In this case, you're paying, $5, $10, whatever it is to unlock all these loot boxes. You don't know what you're going to get out of it. You could get shit. You could get something cool. And it could go from like something that to you is worth 30 cents to something that's worth like $15 or whatever, but you don't know. And that's what makes it different. It's like there's a monetary value to what's in the Hatchimals, to what's in these Kinder Eggs, to what's in, even when you go to like Comic-Con and you have those like surprise boxes that you buy for $50 or $70, like, that there's going to be like $70 worth of stuff around this theme inside there, but you don't with the loot boxes. Like, you're getting digital items that could be worth nothing.
I mean, they are worth nothing. You can't sell them. There's no market. I think Steam's only market where you can actually sell certain items for actual tangible cash. So they actually have some sort of actual value to them. While, some of these loot boxes you're talking about when you go to the conventions, like they're actual tangible things that you could sell to somebody if you wanted to and actually
That's
potentially
true.
make more money. So literally you're buying nothing and you're hoping for something in return that you find and value. So it kind of is like going to the casino where like you're just giving in money hoping to get something back. And the potential of getting that back is actually higher at a casino than you would at these stupid loot boxes. And we're getting to the point where I think this is the last nail in the coffin where loot boxes are coming out as something that is very dangerous to younger, children and younger adults, even teenagers, because we don't know the effects of all this just yet. It's so new, it's so rampant. And again, we've said in the past, we enjoy the games market because it's a true free market. We get to do outcry, but it comes to the point where sometimes we may need some regulation. As much as I don't want regulation in the game industry, I think this will really help if we can get on that path, as some countries have already done it, as stated in this article. And then you have here in the UK, they're already looking at it. And it's nice to finally see someone put some pressure on these people, because we've been doing it. We've been, the fans, the gamers, we've been doing all this outcry and nothing has really changed other than Battlefront. I feel like the gaming industry is still trying to, or these gaming companies are still trying to figure out a way to manipulate us to accept these loot boxes. And honestly, we have been accepting them. I mean, I bought Apex loot boxes because, well, I wanted to support Apex for being such a good game, but at the same time, like I don't need to be doing that. No one needs to be doing.
But you had fun with that.
I mean,
you had fun
did.
with that, didn't you?
But that's the whole point. Like, oh, look
well, you're
at
not
this.
supposed to. No, oh, you just supported her argument, man. You're not supposed to say yes.
I mean, no, you get that dopamine rush of all this fancy stuff, and I'm part of the problem. Like admit it. Like all people fall into these traps, and it's become such commonplace. It's just kind of like it's just now what it is, and that's what's really kind of terrifying if you think about it. And I'm hoping again that this spurs actions to take place across the world to even ban loot boxes. And then it's going to be funny to see what gaming companies do when you have all this cash just dry up within weeks or months or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like, so you say that you enjoy the act of opening the box and getting, whether it's good or not, you just enjoy that act of opening it.
Yeah, it's fun to see, like, oh, am I gonna get? It's anticipation, like, what am I gonna get?
Gotcha.
And I've had that experience with Pokemon cards. It's like I'm opening Pokemon cards. What am I gonna get?
Oh yeah.
So, I guess I think some people have that from as a child, and then coming up now, and it's just so easy as an adult to get these things too. Like the guy who was playing FIFA, I think it was a Kotaku article, and he spent, I think, somewhere near like $25,000 American money on loot boxes in a year or something like that. Something super ridiculous, and it's like, how is that even possible? For them to not acknowledge that this is an actual issue and say that there's no evidence to back it up, I just feel like they're lying, outright lying.
Yeah, it's possible. It is possible. I don't personally find it like enjoyable in my mind. Like I enjoy it obviously when I open it up because I got something good. But when I don't get something good, I'm like, okay, this pisses me off and I'm not going to do it again. And typically I don't do it again. Like if I don't get something that I really want, then I'm not like, it's not worth my time. Like I haven't bought a loot box in Overwatch ever. And I still haven't bought one in Apex Legends yet. I likely won't buy them ever in those things because that's not enjoyable to me. I don't want to spend money in the hopes that I get out of it. But I mean, it definitely is an addictive thing. And she says that, in this, she's basically referencing that people love these surprises and they enjoy that. It's not necessarily fun for them. I mean, maybe it is. Sure. I mean, if you think it's fun, it's fun. More power to you, I guess. But it is taking advantage of our weaknesses as people and our weakness in addiction and short-term enjoyment. And I read this book one time called The Power of Habit by I think it's Stephen Duhigg, I believe is his name. His last name is Duhigg, Charles Duhigg. And in it, he talked about two different things. And one of those things was a woman. These are true stories. A woman, her name was Angie Bachman, who got addicted to gambling, so much so that she like basically lost all the money for her family, then like got so far in debt because she was on such a winning streak that she enjoyed it and got super into like winning and getting more and more. And then she got too far into it that then she started losing a lot and it became an addiction. And they said, is that like what should be weighted worse? The fact that she ruined her family financially by gambling, or somebody going out and killing somebody? Because you end somebody's life, but their life is over. But in this case, you kind of really damage somebody's life by taking all of their money that they've worked so hard to build. And like, how do you look at that? And should the gambler be at fault, or should the people that instigate the gambling be at fault? And some people in these days, like in the gambling world, like they lean towards the gambler because it's like, well, you shouldn't have gambled. But she is a victim of pathological gambling, which through cue, routine, and reward elements, this habit formed around her. And habits are the hardest things to break. Once you get a habit ingrained in yourself, like that's why obesity exists. That's why drug addiction exists. That's why alcoholism exists. That's why there's now gaming addiction that's recognized as a problem. Like these things exist because you formed a habit around it and you're doing it so consistently that you've lost that sense of choice a little bit because it's so ingrained in your daily life that you don't imagine or remember what it was like before that in a way.
And let me kind of explain my comment earlier. It's not fun. It's exciting because there is a game loop where they put all the for Apex, they put a lot of cool skins on a harder, it's obviously going to be less rare, or it's going to be more rare to get these skins. And in a lot of these games, or mini games, they want people to feel unique, especially if you're in a multiplayer game. Like you want people to recognize you and be that, make yourself unique. Everybody wants to stand out from everybody else. And so to do that, like they tie these unique looking skins to the loot box, which become, very rare drops. And so that gets that cycle. And it's like, well, if I get that awesome skin I've been waiting for, it's going to make me feel good. I'll be happy and I can go in there. It's going to make my, experience better. And that could be debatable. And, if they just outright just sell the skin, I don't think we'd have such a problem right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think if you just like straight up buy it.
Yeah.
But then at that point, it's like it loses, in a way, it does kind of lose the fun, I guess, because if you can just buy it, everybody's going to buy the coolest looking skin, and everybody's like the status symbol has gone away at that point.
Exactly.
Because unless they make it like $5,000, then it's just like whoever has the most money can get the best looking skin.
Right.
And in this case, the randomization of it, yeah, I mean, the more you buy into it, the more chances you get of getting it, but it also supply and demand, it makes it more scarce because it's limited in those packs and only a certain number of people are allowed to get them by purchasing many things. So by making having the scarcity of an item, it makes it sought after, and then it creates this sense of like you want to be that social status symbol in your community of like, hey, look at what I got. I'm really cool. I'm the cool kid now because I got this thing. And they tap into that desire that people have of wanting that attention, and they do it through loot boxes. It's crazy.
Yep. I mean, it's all psychological. Like this is very thought out. It's very. I mean, there's studies, that can tie.
Remember that South
together.
Park episode, freaking Canada. Remember that South Park episode, freaking Canada had that like secret room where they're like plotting to destroy everybody using microtransactions inside mobile games.
Right. Right.
You don't remember that?
No, I do.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna have more of a response to that.
Sorry,
like,
you cut out.
Exactly
I know you're talking about, but you cut out, so I don't know what you said. I know you said
gotcha.
the Canada episode. Yeah, I remember the Canada episode.
Yeah, no, where they were talking about the they had Timmy running around, selling that app or like getting people to like buy into that app and just play it, and they start playing and they get sucked into the microtransaction loop and they start spending all their money and it just destroys society. It's like that's what they're doing. They're freaking Canadians.
Actually brings up a good point. This all started with mobile apps, and now it's coming to actual gaming, and it's just I guess for better or worse, it's really changed gaming, and I think it's for the worse because now everyone's focused on the money. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say back to the conference. Another thing that she said when we were talking about gambling extensively just now, she said that, quote, "We also disagree that there's evidence that shows it leads to gambling." However, obviously, there's been evidence that shows that countries like Belgium and Netherlands, both of which have banned randomized loot boxes and gambling laws. But she said those decisions were rooted in the laws of each land, and EA doesn't agree with them, although it has made changes in those regions to comply with their laws. So she's like, well, we don't agree with Belgium and the Netherlands. They're dumb. Basically what she's saying, in my mind, but they're not gambling at all. And yeah. But I mean, I guess it's true about the addiction part of it. Like you do, I mean, she did say the packs, the surprise, that's fun for people. They like earning the packs, opening the packs, building the teams, trading the teams. I mean, what they like is, like you said, they like that anticipation. It's kind of like when you plan a trip to go somewhere. The most exciting part of that trip planning or of that trip is likely going to be the planning process, like the excitement and anticipation of it's coming up. Oh man, where are we going to go? Oh, this place looks so cool. We should totally go here. No, let's go here. Let's do this. Let's do that. And you make this list and you spend all this time. And that's like really long tail enjoyment because you're doing this over a course of like, what could be 6 months leading up to that 5-day trip, right? And then the 5 days come and go, and then you're like, okay, well, now the excitement's gone. But exactly. Part of the reason you do vacation is because you build up that anticipation for so long to lead to that climax, and then bam, it hits you, and you're really excited. And that's what they're tapping into.
It's the same with you saving money to buy something, You're waiting this whole time. It's going to be awesome. You buy it, and then you may have buyer's remorse. But, the great thing about something tangible you buy at the store is that you can return it. You can't return any of these loot boxes. I mean, it's one and done.
That's true too. That's another good point, is that none of this can be returned. So if you have a purchase that you're upset with, you're screwed, and that's bullshit.
That's.
I'd be like, I want my money back, so I didn't get it. Yeah. But if you get Pokemon cards you don't like, you could go to Target and be like, or our version of Target, and and you can go in there and be like, hey, I don't want these Pokemon cards anymore. Why don't you want them? Well, because I didn't get the card I wanted. And Target would say, okay, they'll probably give it back to you and give you the money back because Target has a very lax return policy.
I don't know if that would work, actually. I feel like that's
Dude, I saw a lady walk into Target one day, and she literally came in, there were 12 cans of soda pop, or like soda, that I guarantee you she bought at Walmart for $1 a piece, and she went in there and returned them, and they didn't ask for a receipt, and they gave her full credit for it, or full money back, in cash. Not store credit, in cash.
Wow.
If she can do that, they will totally give you money back for your Pokemon cards. Because their goal is just like, how can we get them out of here as fast as possible without creating a scene? Because, it's $5 for a card. They're making billions of dollars like left and right. So
true.
They're fine with doing that.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, then I believe it. I believe it.
No, it's crazy. Yeah. If I hadn't seen that one day, but I literally was like waiting in line because she was arguing with the lady at the counter. Like, no, I bought these here. I just don't have my receipt. Okay. Give me the money for them. And I'm like, you have 12 packs, like 12 cans of Coke. You could have bought anywhere in this Metroplex. And here you're like, no, I bought them here. So give me the money. I guarantee you, like she probably like went to Walmart, got them for $1 a piece because they're on sale, and then went over there and then they gave her like, $4 or $5 a pop for them. So she made like $20, $30 just for going in there arguing with somebody for a little bit.
Wow.
Freaking crazy.
I mean, that's how you make money, I guess. We don't condone those actions.
No, definitely don't do that. Yeah. So it's, I kind of look at it like Christmas time. you get all excited for Christmas presents and you get them, and then really you know who's to blame here? It's not the mobile apps. We need to blame Santa Claus. It's Santa Claus's fault, man.
Is it really?
Santa Claus is to blame.
No,
yeah,
not Santa Claus.
No, we need to sue Santa Claus.
No,
he ruined everything for everybody. He started this addiction early on and was like, kids, you're gonna be good, or else you're gonna get a lump of coal for Christmas. But you're also gonna get presents, and when you open those presents, you don't know what you're gonna get. I hope you get what you wanted, but if you were a bad kid, you may not exactly get what you wanted. But I dictate it. Santa Claus is EA. That's my prediction.
He's giving lumps of clothes left and right.
Lumps of clothes is what it sounded like you said. That'd be funny if he's giving lumps of clothes. Yeah.
Lumps of
That'd be hilarious.
Coal.
Lumps of coal.
Let me pronunciate.
Yeah, I don't know. It's for me, it's just EA is so back and forth. Like, I feel like they're starting to get to the point where they're going out of their way to, save face with everything they're doing, and it's almost like they're putting words in gamers' mouths, because they're like, oh no, this whole entire time you've been telling us that we got loot boxes. No, you're wrong. Like, that's not loot boxes. Let me tell you what you should be saying. Let's change the narrative. You should be saying surprise mechanics. Okay. Exactly. Oh no. You said you like story-based games. You like single player. No. That's not right.
That's gone.
You don't like story games. You like multiplayer games. So we're gonna give you multiplayer games. That we know what you want. And then wait. No, now we're coming back, and this year we're bringing out a game that's a Star Wars game, and it has no loot box surprise mechanics. It has no surprise mechanics, and it has a story campaign. See, we know what you guys want. Jeez. We got it. Even though 2 years ago we said you didn't want it, now we know. We got this. You don't have to tell us what you want. It's just a bunch of bullshit.
It is
so crazy.
Bullshit. It's just marketing. They're trying to make the most money possible, and that has become that's been their MO this whole for a very long time, and it's finally coming to a point where I think things might change, but only time will tell. And I don't know if we mentioned this earlier, but there's a representative from Epic there for Fortnite, and he was basically on the same level as EA. So across the board, we got scumbags. Okay. We got scumbags. Just what happened to the games, Brett? Like, I feel like everyone in Europe are making high quality games. Like, if you think about it, a lot of the awesome single story player games are coming from Europe or that side of the world.
Yeah. Well, Electronic Arts is technically not a foreign company or not a American company. The CEO is an Australian.
Interesting. Yeah, but wasn't it started here?
Let's blame Australia. Oh yeah, it was started here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The demise of EA started with an Australian. No offense to Australia, but
right. Just one of your boys.
But yeah, no, it was founded in California. It was actually founded by a former Apple employee.
Oh, there you go.
And then he went and started Electronic Arts. But I mean, a long time ago, Electronic Arts was great. Like, they started out awesome. Like, I really, really appreciate them, and they grew and did some really great things. And like, I was looking at the timeline. Let's see. So back in 2007, well, throughout the era, like, you had Trip Hawkins, who started the company. 1982 was when it started until 1990. And then he stepped down. Larry Probst came in for 9 years and ran the company. And they continued to expand onward until 2007. John Riccitiello came in and then took over until 2013. And then in 2013, he left, and then Andrew Wilson stepped up to take over. And then since he took over, Andrew Wilson, here's what's happened. Initially, right when he took over, he dismissed 10% of the workforce, consolidated their marketing functions, which were distributed amongst many, many labels. And then he went on to get the Star Wars license from Disney, and then proceeded to cancel multiple Star Wars games internally that never were released until Battlefront came out, which had a shitty situation. And then they brought out Battlefront 2, which had pay-to-win mechanics. Then in 2015, they had all these free-to-play games like Battlefield Heroes and Battlefield Play for Free and Need for Speed World, and they canceled all of those. He was like, no, there's no loot boxes in the surprise mechanics. They're not here, so we need to shut these down. And then they came back with like all the, like, everything that they've done in this, like, from then till now has not been that great. Like, even Battlefield has suffered since 2013. Like nothing's been good since this guy's been in office.
No, he's business oriented, and you definitely have to find the medium between art and business. And I get that. In order for these game companies to be successful and be competitive in the marketplace, is to have some business behind them. But this is what happens when you go too much one way. We got to come back. That's why I'm thinking. That's what I've been saying since last year, is that these game companies need to just go away. Like, they need to crumble. They've gotten too big, and they're not doing anything good for us. They're hurting gamers, and we just need these indie game companies to come up and show us the light again. And I think we've been seeing that. It's been a slow process, but we've been seeing that.
Yeah. What's interesting too? Andrew Wilson came on in 2013. That same year, Battlefield 4 was released. So he was not a part of Battlefield 4's creation because he came on after the fact. And ever since then, what we've had? Battlefield Hardline, Battlefield 1, and Battlefield 5. So
this guy is just making stuff that he wants, and then
he's just destroyed everything. He doesn't know how to count. He goes from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield Hardline to Battlefield 1 to then back to Battlefield 5, but with a V instead of a 5. Dude's crazy. I mean, obviously he had nothing to do with that, but I don't know. I feel like he's at the root of a lot of these problems. Like, if you look at the history of this company, like, a lot of it has gone downhill since he took the helm. And I think they just need to oust Andrew Wilson, and they'd be good.
Well, it's a start. I don't know they'd be good, but it's a start.
It's right direction.
Yep.
Put him on a path. Put him on a path to victory.
What an article, man. What an article.
I know.
Times we live in.
I know. Yep. But and then the last thing she said, which I think is really funny, is that I don't think we can agree to say that games are addictive. I would tell you that Electronic Arts already is a very responsible company. That's a nice way to cap it off.
That's just in there, man. That's all we need.
That's all you need. That's all you need. So on that note, if y'all have any feedback on this conversation, feel free to let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. A lot of you are probably going to say that we're idiots, but I don't care because I think we're not idiots. I think that these loot boxes are a bunch of bullshit and that surprise mechanics are not ethical. But if you disagree, let us know why you disagree. Let us know why you continue to spend thousands of dollars for loot boxes to get a digital skin. I would love to hear it. And if you just like loot boxes, I mean, let us know. I'm down to hear it. And if you have any questions on this segment or want to contribute to next week's segment, visit theinnergamer.net and drop us a line. We would love to hear more from you.